Hello, welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Ashley Hurley. Thank you for joining us. 2 weeks of winter weather put a stop to a lot around our community, and a lot of people are wondering how the decision to close campus was made. To answer that question, we turn to President B. James Dawson.
I'm convinced this is one of those once in a 100-year kind of events. And when we look at what the schedule will be and should we have school, should we close school, number one priority is the safety of faculty, staff, students, the entire academic community. And then I think we have to be realistic about our ability to take care of snow on a campus like this. The reality for us is we have one truck with a blade on the front and a salt spreader on the back and a couple of tractors. And that works great if you have a few inches of snow. But when you have snow and ice and then more snow and more ice, it just becomes impossible to clear. And beyond that, where you can move the snow becomes problematic because you have to be careful about what's going to happen when it melts. It has to have a place to run. The real issue ultimately for us toward the end of this 2-week experience was where would people park if they came here, and how safe would it be for them to park in those locations. So we'll certainly review what has happened. We'll consider all the possibilities, but this is a unique situation, and I think we have to look at it that way.
People are also asking how the time missed will be made up. Some are asking if spring break will be taken, will classes be extended, will the semester last even longer? Well, to answer that question, here again is President Dawson.
Right now, we will add 10 minutes to each class period in order to extend the time that people are in classes. And hopefully that will accomplish much of what we need to do. The other thing that I think is important for us to recognize in the coming weeks as we consider the potential for more snow is that we can prepare in advance. We'll have more faculty members who provide assignments in advance in anticipation of snow if that occurs, and we'll certainly do that. Many students have asked about spring break. Are we going to have spring break? And the answer is yes, we will have spring break. I know many folks have planned for that, and we're not in a situation now where we will need to use spring break to make up time.
Spring break for Lincoln Memorial University is scheduled for March 30th through April 3rd. Feeling the impact of what the snow and ice did to the local economy is another local restaurant, and it is Gondolier. We sat down with their manager, who tells us that business during that time was hit or miss, but they were able to keep the doors open for those who were able to make it out.
It has greatly affected our business. I mean, for one, a lot of customers don't come out. Two, a lot of our deliveries were rescheduled to come when we couldn't be here. Three, it made it very difficult for employees to come here. I mean, we opened up every day with the exception of the one day. I think the one Saturday we opened up at 4, a little bit later. Other than that, I mean, we were open. Usually, even if we open on a snowy day, you'd think that a lot of people wouldn't show up, but they actually do come out. The one day we had one server. It was that Saturday that we opened up a little bit later, and the whole front dining room was full. We do get a lot of business from LMU. It vastly affected our lunches and even our dinner. You know, we have a lot of to-goes usually. Like I said, it just made it pretty difficult to get up here. I mean, I live in Knoxville. Usually takes me about an hour. It took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You just want to drive a little bit safe. We got bills to pay, so we got to open as much as we can, get what we can. Now with spring coming, it definitely helps our business out. More people are out and about, doing this, doing that. Our to-goes pick up where the lake's open. People are, ordering pizza and wings. And then we have, definitely all the LMU graduations, which, we appreciate and help out a lot.
For more information on Gondolier of Harrogate, you can give them a call at 423-869-8001. Another local favorite that is feeling the impact of the winter storm is the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum. The museum was closed along with Lincoln Memorial University campus, and they were closed for the 2 weeks, but it will remain closed until repairs are completed. The repairs are being made to areas that sustained damage from the winter weather. The damage on campus is isolated to the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum, and the remainder of campus will operate on a normal schedule. The Lincoln Memorial University Vet Tech Club is collecting items for the Bell County Animal Shelter's animals. The collection is taking place now through March 27th. The wish list for the animals includes blankets, cat litter, dog food, especially puppy food, and cat food, and that is especially for kitten food. There are drop-off areas on campus, and they are located at Schneck Allied Health Science Building, located beside Tex Turner Arena, and the Student Lounge on the 3rd floor of the Math and Science Building. If you have any questions, feel free to email Laura Newman at lmunet.edu or Michelle Henderson at lmunet.edu as well. Along with keeping ourselves healthy in adulthood, some Tennessee organizations, restaurants, and education institutions are now making a commitment to help end childhood obesity. Through a partnership for a healthier America, the goal is to increase the access to healthier eating options. Tennessee has the fourth highest adult obesity rate in the country. The access to nutritious foods is the challenge many Tennessee families face, and experts say this does contribute to the obesity epidemic. So now businesses are stepping up to help make the healthy choice the easy choice. Just last week at the Building a Healthier Future Summit in Washington, D.C., national health experts, policymakers, business and industry leaders brainstormed new strategies to help end childhood obesity. To increase the affordability, vegetables and fruits are going to be added to restaurant menus, and programs are being adopted to promote nutrition and healthy activity. According to the most recent State of Obesity report, more than 20% of children ages 10 to 17 are obese in the state of Tennessee. Coming up after the break, if you have always wanted to study abroad, here is your opportunity. We'll have that story and more right after this.
Join the Vive Broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive Broadband Speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. And you get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
If you have always wanted to travel abroad, here is your opportunity. The Lincoln Memorial University International Programs Department has partnered with Chukyo University in Nagoya, Japan, to offer LMU students the opportunity to study abroad in 2015 and 2016. The deadline for applications to study abroad is March 20th. If you are a current student, you can apply to attend a minimum of 1 semester and also up to 1 academic year at Chukyo University. This will be in exchange for LMU tuition with no charge for housing, and you will receive transfer credits for classes taken. Fall courses run from September to December 2015 and will be conducted in Japanese and English. No prior Japanese training is required. For more information or to request an application packet, please contact Director of International Programs Robin Biggood at 423-869-6688. Lincoln Memorial University hosts a unique and dynamic international study initiative, the LMU Canto program.
Well, one of the things we look forward to every year is the arrival of our Canto friends from Japan. And they'll arrive in mid-March, and hopefully the snow will be gone and we'll look at spring, and we have almost 70 arriving then, so it will be an exciting time. It's always great to have them on campus, and they certainly bring to us a culture that we wouldn't see on a daily basis.
Every year since 1979, Lincoln Memorial University has welcomed students from Kanto International Senior High School in Tokyo, Japan. In conjunction with the Kanto program, LMU offers a homestay experience to those participating students. Through Homestay, international students spend a weekend with a local host family. The students participate in the host family's everyday activities, whether it be going to the park, Sunday services, or even a family dinner. The homestay experience allows students to participate in the daily life of an American family. The experience gives them the unique opportunity that is only made possible through local host family participation. If you would like to be a host family, you can expect to host 2 students for 1 weekend. The weekend will start on a Friday and end on Sunday afternoon. There is no obligation to host more than 1 weekend throughout the duration of the Kanto program. For more information on becoming a host family, you can contact Joanne Russell at 423-869-7763 or her email joanne.russell@lmunet.edu. Right now in the state of Tennessee, there are 25,000 undocumented students that are paying 3 times the cost of tuition, even if they graduated from a Tennessee high school. Legislation introduced in the state legislature proposes to change that. One bill that lawmakers are expected to take up this session would allow undocumented students who graduate from a Tennessee high school to pay in-state tuition at state colleges and universities. Under current policy, undocumented students are not eligible for in-state tuition rates and must pay more than 3 times as much as their classmates to attend a public college or university, no matter how long they have lived in Tennessee. 20 other states have similar programs to the one that is being proposed. Similar legislation was introduced just last year, but it failed to pass. Now, coming up after the break, Sports Director Adam Haley is going to break down all the ups and downs that have went on in LMU athletics. So be sure you keep it right here.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
This past week in LMU athletics has been crazy with ups and downs. Let's start with the LMU baseball team, who's been riding it up after their sweep of Lenore-Ryan and was looking to get another sweep, taking on Carson Newman over the weekend. The 3-game series was scheduled to take place at Lamar Hennon Field here on campus, but Mother Nature would force the Rail Splitters to go on the road once again, but it didn't seem to affect LMU. Game 1 of the Saturday doubleheader would be a classic as the two teams would battle back and forth going into extra innings tied at 5. Byron Everhart hit an RBI single for Carson Newman that seemed to have won the game in the 13th until LMU's Wes Niederland hit a solo home run followed by a Kyle Floyd RBI double to lift LMU to the 7-6 win. Nick Morabito picked up the win in relief going 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run while striking out 3. Game 2 once again saw Carson Newman jump out to an early 5-0 lead after scoring in the first 3 innings. But once again, LMU came rushing back with 1 run in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 3 more in the 6th, capped off by a 2-run home run by Scott Miller to defeat the Eagles 6-5. On Sunday, the two teams came back to the Diamond to complete the series, and this time there was no doubt about the better team as LMU rolled to the 16-5 win. Nick Morabito and Ryan Burleson both went yard in Game 3 as Wes Todd picked up the win on the mound going 6 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs and striking out 7. The Rail Splitters are now 12-7 on the season and 9-3 in the SAC, which is good enough for a tie for first place with Tusculum. The baseball team will face UVA-Wise on Wednesday, March 11th at home before going on the road again this weekend against Catawba. The LMU men's basketball team was in Greenville, South Carolina over the weekend for the 2015 SAC basketball tournament. On Saturday, they faced 4th-seeded Queens University, and the Royals came out fighting because they knew their season would be over with a loss. Hot shooting would keep the Royals close to LMU in the first half as the Rail Splitters would go into the halftime up only 2, 34-32. In the second half, LMU used the first 7 minutes to increase their lead to 11, 51-40 before Queens made a run. Queens' Rob Lewis put the Royals in the lead with a 3 with 7:49 left, and Queens looked like they would pull the upset until LMU's Jarrell Simmons hit a 3 with 11 seconds left to push LMU to the 67-64 win. Keaton Peterson led LMU with 11 points and 8 rebounds, while Queens' Marquise Rankin led all scorers with 15 points. On Sunday, the men would face the only team to hand them a loss during the regular season, the Carson Newman Eagles. The Eagles started out the game red hot while the Rail Splitters were as cold as ice. It took LMU 6.5 minutes to score their first point and nearly 10 minutes for their first goal from the field. LMU went on a few mini runs in the first half and luckily found themselves down by only 3 at the break, 28-25. Cold shooting once again hurt LMU in the second half as Carson Newman went on a 14-4 run to start the first 8.5 minutes. From there, Carson Newman turned Timmons Arena into the Eagles' nest as they led by as many as 19 en route to a 63-48 defeat of LMU. Keaton Peterson led LMU in scoring with 10 points. After the game, Coach Josh Schertz gave Carson Newman credit for being the better team on the right day.
Carson Newman, congratulations on the championship, much deserved. They're I thought, the far better team. They exposed us in some areas. We kind of knew we've not been playing well here the last month or so of the season. Save the Carson Newman game at Newman, and we've been living on borrowed time, and time ran out today.
Even though the Rail Splitters lost, they will still host the 2015 NCAA Southeast Regional Tournament. The first round will consist of 2 South Atlantic Conference teams, 2 Conference Carolinas teams, and 4 Peach Belt Conference teams. The games get started on Saturday, March 14th at noon with 6th-seeded Columbus State taking on 3rd-seeded UNC Pembroke. Game 2 is between 7th-seeded Carson Newman and 2nd-seeded Montevallo at 2:30 p.m. Top-seeded LMU is in Game 3 against 8th-seeded North Greenville. That game is slated to start at 5 p.m. And the 4th and final game on the day is slated for 7:30 p.m. between 4th-seeded Mount Olive and 5th-seeded Georgia Regents of Augusta. All the games will be streamed live on the internet at www.ustream.tv/channel/LMU-athletics1 or just go to LMURailSplitters.com. They'll also be aired live on LMU Community TV. The LMU softball team was in Dahlonega, Georgia over the weekend participating in the North Georgia Captain D's Surf and Turf Classic. And for the ladies, it was not all fun in the sun. The ladies were shut out on day 1 by 11th-ranked North Georgia 6-0 and Wayne State 1-0. Day 2 was not much better for LMU. They were once again shut out by 11th-ranked North Georgia 6-0 and then by McKendree 8-0 in 6 innings. Now at 8-10 overall, the Lady Rail Splitters will try to regroup as they'll start conference play on Saturday, March 14th against Queens University here at home. The men's and women's lacrosse teams were also on the road over the weekend in Hartsville, South Carolina. The women gave up 5 goals in the first minute of play as Coker would roll to the 16-3 win. Brieza James had 2 goals in the loss for LMU. The men gave up 7 first-quarter goals to the Cobras as the Rail Splitters fell to Coker 18-9. The men then turned around on Sunday and traveled to Wingate, North Carolina to face the Bulldogs in a game that could have went either way. But 2 goals by Wingate in the third quarter would be enough for the Bulldogs to pull out the win 10-9. And finally, we want to give a quick congratulations to the Granger Lady Grizzlies, who made the Class 2A state semifinals last week, which was a first in school history. Granger finished the season at 28-8 after the loss. Also, congratulations and good luck to the Bell County Lady Bobcats, who have now made the KHSAA Sweet 16 tournament with their win on Sunday over Harlan. They'll face Holy Cross Covington on Wednesday evening at the EA Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now that's all for sports. However, stay tuned. Joseph Lewis will have everything you need to know about the box office from this last weekend when we return.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Hello, I'm Joseph Lewis, bringing you all the latest information in the world of movies. Tops at the box office this weekend were led by Neil Blomkamp's sci-fi actioner Chappie, opening at #1 with a disappointing $13 million take, down more than $15 million from the openings of the director's previous efforts, District 9 and Elysium. However, with a relatively low $49 million budget, Chappie could nevertheless turn a profit in the coming weeks. Following at #2 and dropping only 1 spot from last week was the comic crime caper Focus, adding $10 million to its now $35 million domestic gross, accounted for by wide appeal within adult audiences and an attractive cast featuring Will Smith and The Wolf of Wall Street's Margot Robbie. And speaking of adult audiences, rounding out the top 3 was the second best exotic Marigold Hotel, the sequel to 2012's highly successful dramedy starring Maggie Smith, Judi Dench, and Bill Nighy, among others. Although it only drew $8 million this first weekend, its pedigree and its generally positive audience response indicate that it will follow the same slow, steady trajectory of its predecessor to become a modest financial success. Expect to see the box office shaken up next weekend with the release of Cinderella, Kenneth Branagh's live-action adaptation of Disney's animated classic starring Lily James, Cate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, and Game of Thrones' Richard Madden, as well as Run All Night, the latest in Liam Neeson's seemingly endless parade of shoot-'em-up action movies. In review this week is Chappie, the latest in sci-fi cinema's tradition of artificial intelligence gone awry stories. Set in South Africa in the near future, the film stars Slumdog Millionaire's Dev Patel as Dion, a corporate weapons technician responsible for creating the mechanical, RoboCop-esque police force that patrols the streets. Although the robot's functions are fairly cut and dried, Dion is in the process of creating the technology to make a robot that can experience human thoughts and emotions for itself, much to the chagrin of Hugh Jackman's Vincent, a rival designer whose own prototype has been rejected. Meanwhile, on the crime-ridden streets of Johannesburg, a financial dispute between 2 groups of gangsters leads criminals Ninja, Yolandi, and America to plan a heist in order to pay back their debt. Wanting a robot on their side for assistance and defense, the group takes Dion hostage and forces him to create exactly what they need. Using his latest technological invention, Dion gives life to Chappie, a humanoid robot with the mental maturity of a baby and the temperament of a lost puppy. From there, the plot converges as Dion and Yolandi give Chappie a crash course in human behavior, as Ninja and America give him the street skills he needs to pull a heist, and as the villainous Vincent watches the action from afar, deliberately waiting to take advantage of the situation. Although writer-director Blomkamp pulls from countless influences in Chappie, he packs the film with so many eccentric touches that the final product winds up feeling wholly original. As with District 9 and Elysium, Blomkamp uses the realities of life in Johannesburg to create a convincing apocalyptic world with all the grit and grime and desperation that entails. Chappie also marks probably the first on-screen depiction of Zef culture in American film, with South African rap-rave group Die Antwoord essentially playing themselves as Ninja and Yolandi. Placing these two outlandish, often humorous characters in a futuristic sci-fi film may be off-putting to some, but the tone Chappie strikes is too interesting not to be fascinated by. Influences of hard sci-fi and hip-hop abound, and when combined with the earnestness and innocence of Chappie himself, all of the elements combine to create a truly unique concoction. The action is solid, and the robotic special effects are even better, played more for realism than for flash. District 9's Charlton Copley provided the voice of and gave a motion capture performance for the character of Chappie, and his acting is certainly the star of the show, making for a change of pace from the actor's usual viciousness and creating a big beating heart for the film in the form of his relationship with Yolandi, who essentially takes on the role of Chappie's mother. The political aspects and the conflict between Dion and Vincent are less interesting than the rest, and Dev Patel has never been a particularly convincing or charismatic actor, but Blomkamp makes up for the film's shortcomings by delivering a truly satisfying finale that is both visceral and emotional. Chappie's combination of disparate elements won't be for everyone, but if nothing else, Blomkamp has created a fresh entry into a genre that Hollywood seems to have grown tired of, and in this time of nonstop sequels and remakes, that's something to pay attention to. That's all for this week in the world of movies. I'm Joseph Lewis.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
And that's going to do it for this week's news. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Ashley Hurley.
And I'm Adam Haley.
Thank you for joining us.